Hello and welcome to another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. I'm the player who plays as the King Under the Mountain, and today I'm going to do what is quite a hotly anticipated, it seems, update on my current season. We are into day 40. The ring still hasn't been taken. I would probably say it's up for grabs for anyone at this stage. If ever you wanted a kind of intro to the game and its brilliance and why people love it so much, this server would probably tell you why. And I'm just going to come out and say it. I know that the Udes and Aces server is going on at the minute with Lame and Order, and Stud, from what I've heard as well, from the controversy. This is, in my opinion, the best server right now that you could follow and look at. And I'm kind of going to go into why today by going through some battle reports. I'm going to go through the map. I'm even going to do sort of like a little Easter egg style thing at the end with a sort of quirky, quite interesting use for workshops on the front line. Other than that, I'm probably just going to go straight into it because just for gravity, I'm just going to move up here. This is the current situation in Ashen Plains, where we've been for 2 or 3 days now. This is my fellowship, Toby. This is the DK Kingdom, and this is why this server's been pretty cool. If someone from DK could tell me this, it'd be interesting, but we feel that they are not sleeping right at the moment. Bear in mind, they should be asleep now, and they are not. So if you could go back to sleeping at a normal pattern DK, that'd be really nice. Just a point from us. What tends to happen, I might as well just say just quick, is they kind of drop off around now. They push us all day long. They started here, which is, they've got further than yesterday, because yesterday they started about here, so they seem to gain about 20 tiles a day. Overnight, while they sleep, we pushed it back to about here generally, and then we all go again the day after. But it's been pretty cool, and it's nice to actually have some warfare that's in a pretty confined area. So that's that. So let's just get into the leaderboards. You have, let's start with fellowships, just so people know who are in here. We have in Arnor, Bear, who are top of the affluence rankings. We used to, many days ago, it feels like now, have around 4 million affluence. We do not anymore. Hunk at 3.6 are our kingdom partner, and you have the Microdong also in there. You have the DK Kingdom in Erebor, who have got around 3 million, which has gone up slightly. I would guess that's where our tiles have gone. You also have in there Coffer, where are they? Here, who are also in there of 1.9. Really good kingdom. And probably the main source of where my fights have been for the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 days. Also in Gondor, you have Sult, who are off fighting on the west side of the map. In Loth, which is the other probably major faction on this server, you have Odin, Wind, and Otter, which all have a lot of power inside. Particularly, I will say Wind, who I hadn't seen before this season, have got quite a lot of power in there, but as always, Odin are coming out strong. Bear do have Azaghal also in their faction, so that is helping them move along. And then in Linden, we have a few smaller factions. And we actually have 3 teams in Angmar, which are Theo, and Spod. The server's kind of taken a strange old turn, I guess, really. So you've kind of got a situation whereby you've got Bear from Arnor, you have Mordor, and you have 2 of the fellowships in Gondor who are fighting pretty much the rest of the server. So Linden, Loth, Angmar, and Erebor. I say 2 of the 3 fellowships in Gondor because one of them is actually linked to BZKH, are actually linked to the DK Kingdom. So they've caused a bit of a pain in our backside, shall we say, this season. As for the personal affluence, Mavius is still the king farmer of Middle-earth with his 19 formations. We have a Bear in second, and we have Emmy from Toby in third. I don't know how he's there, considering we've all lost tiles in the last while. Probably need to explain yourself, Emmy, and why you're not on the front line there. Just saying. Then you've got a little bit of Salt, lots of Bear, some Hunk, Theo, DK. Basically, everyone on this server likes to farm. And really crazily, this actually really did make me feel bad. I think in the last video I was 23rd. I'm now 38th. But yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, I was 163rd or something like that in the farming rankings. That genuinely gives me palpitations and should never happen, as it makes me feel so bad. I took some tiles back elsewhere, let's put it that way. But realistically, apart from probably day one, if I start an hour late, I'm never that far down the list. So it was making me feel bad. As for merit, we still haven't made it into that top 20. No matter how hard I try, I don't seem to be able to get there. And that is great testament to this server. So we have Raven on top. We have some bears. We have a mix of everyone. We've got Animal. We've got Salt. We've got you, which is Linden. We have more Salt. We have Bear, lots of Bear, some Honk, some DK. Literally, there'll be some Otter down here, some Wind. Everyone is down here. And on day 40, which we're now in, the top 50 has 3.1 million. So if we go right the way to the bottom, bear in mind there is 15 days left. Law sneaks in at 100. Unreal that he sneaks in there at 100. With 2.5 million. Now, for me, this has been the best server in a very long time. Possibly the best server I've ever played in for a variety of reasons. I'm going to go into that now from the map. I am going to try and keep this brief today, though. Just because I can. So, look at those battle pins, right? I'm going to start over here in the west and work our way across. So you have Salt on top of this pin here versus Angmar. That is a smaller pin, but as you can see, this pin is pretty split. So there's another 1.5 million dead there. There is another 2.8 million dead there. There's 800k dead there. 4 red pins in that short area. I don't know why it started to split the pins so much. It's a bit annoying, to be honest. Then we go into Animal, who are on top of the pin versus the entirety of Angmar. Another 2.4 million dead there. We have 890k dead between a little bit of Arnor and Angmar. Rohan have decided to get themselves back involved. So nice to see BZKH fighting someone that isn't one of my defending tile armies, may I just say. So Rohan are fighting Gondor. I'd forgotten all about Rohan. In the last one, they were pretty peaceful and not attacking anyone. We then have a 11.6 million dead pin here, and this pin separated yesterday, which is a little bit gutting. And we have an 8.1 million pin there. So you have a 53 million participant pin with nearly 20 million deaths in South Anduin Vale. That's impressive. And that's between Bear, the entirety of Loth, and Honk. And also Azaghal. Let's give him a little bit of a mention there. Then you go to us. So this is the Toby Kingdom. For the last Toby Fellowship. We're definitely not a kingdom. We are in Ashen Plains. We have been here for 4 days. You'll have seen in the last update that we've relocated down this way. And thankfully we found somewhere at the moment where we can stay still and start swinging hammers and axes at people, which is genuinely handy. So we have another 9.4 million dead pin there versus Erebor. We're currently at the pass, which I've just shown you, which is sort of a very, very small gap in the middle of Ashen Plains. So let's talk through what's happened since the last time we did this. So I was anticipating that Bear would probably take Karas. They have not. No one has taken the ring. The ring is surrounded by pretty much everyone's forts at this stage. With 15 days left, like I say, great server. We still own Central Mirkwood. I have no idea how. We haven't defended it for the last 2 or 3 days. Loth failed yesterday. They are setting up again to take it now. We still own Elven King's Hall, but we no longer own the pass up here. So again, likely to lose Elven King's Hall at some stage. SAV has been flipped from Loth to Mordor, which is us here. And this pass also last night got flipped to Mordor, which was really impressive from Honk, by the way, because that was a defended 900k siege pass. I think it took them about 3 hours, but they got there in the end. You will see that we are still being pushed down here. We did take back Hills of Rune. That's been taken today. We did have Oasis of Rune. These are 2 small keeps, but they have been taken back from us over the last couple of days. DK are setting up here, but they are also now entering this area. So I would assume, and this is probably, makes an ass out of me and you, or whatever the phrase is, that they'll probably look at targeting somewhere down here in the next few days. It's been hectic. And as like I say, the map itself shows you that it's been really active. I can't actually believe it's day 40. Part of me doesn't want this server to end. The other part of me wants to sleep for 3 weeks. It's been that good. And if you said to me tomorrow, would I do it all again? I'd say no. But come back to me in a month and I would. So that's kind of the state of where the map is. Bear are coming through here with us and fighting Loth and some of Erebor. It's really finely balanced still. And I know I said in the last video it was finely balanced, but it's insanely finely balanced. And it's almost like who gives in first. The fact that we've held down here for 3 or 4 days versus a lot of Erebor, just because it's been a confined space, has been pretty good, to be perfectly honest. I probably will try and get myself back into the fight at some stage. I'm just going to let's move to here. I'm going to defend my workshop area. And I can guard from here without being hit, so that's good. I have got some birds in the area, which I'm taking things with every now and again. Gear hasn't changed. We still have the same commanders at level 50. I will just flick through the gear very quickly. So the gear's good. I'm quite happy with the gear situation. Happy with the reports, barring a couple today, which were a little bit frustrating. But I'm just going to go through 4 or 5. I like to go through 4 or 5 each video. Try and show different players as well if I can. So we came out on top here versus some tier 4. Again, this person has a really good formation. Z6 Sauron. We have a Z2 Gandalf the White. I would suggest this gear outdoes me. However, we came out on top, which I'm pretty pleased about. Z1 Bjorn as well, very nice. Saruman with the Bow Knight still doing good damage. I am now pretty much working on full Guardians. I will go to the barrack situation afterwards. Another great fight here with some T4 involved. Saruman putting out some great damage here and surviving well with the Bow Knights. Like I say, I really do think it's the troop for him. This person here has really good gear. Probably I have a couple of respect levels on him, but I was pretty happy with this fight, to be honest, particularly against the old Shire ponies from Bjorn. In fight 3, I think we have the same guy in the same fight because I just dropped it back in there again because I can be a bit of a cretin at points. Then we fought Aion, who knows, one of the two names, someone let me know. And he'd got a couple of underlevels. Nice Sauron, more on the focus heavy side than probably what I would like with the accessory. Nice Saruman. And he is running the Dragoon, so really tanky units. We came out pretty nicely in this fight, to be honest. But I felt like he'd done pretty well, considering where I'm at in regards to gear. So I just wanted to showcase that this full formation without Gandalf the White, the full evil one, if they were similar gear, I still think he probably might beat me here. I did have to switch in this fight to, from memory, I think my gear on this isn't great. Yeah. So I had to switch my shadow in here because I was defending a fort. And Dane had died in the fight before, so they attacked me again, presuming I would guess that I would either die or not reinforce. But what I actually did was just switch shadow into the formation because I was in the fort and took the hit and won. So kept my fort alive for a little bit longer. I built a snowman versus snowman. No, definitely frozen. I wasn't full here, and again, I'd had to swap shadow in. This was during the same time. Frozen's got a really nice formation, uses Undying with the evasion, has a really nice Dane, has a really good Bjorn too, and uses the agility set to make sure he's faster than other people's Bjorns, I would guess, to try and get the madness there, which is really smart, something that I suggested a long time ago. And then he's got a pretty cool Gandalf the White. Considering the resources in that fight, I was really happy with that one. Saruman kind of carrying me through because Shadow was doing okay. And then we fought Spin with the B team. And I was pretty happy with this, to be honest, because all I do is switch my gear across from the A team in these kind of fights when I do run around with the B team. I'm not running around as much with the B team at the minute just because troops are scarce, shall we say. But I was pretty happy with this. Spin's a good player. And I just kind of wanted to showcase some different fights today because I know I've been consciously kind of showing some of the others which are sort of similar. And that's kind of where the battle reports were at. I have had a few really nice fights in the last few hours, to be fair. I lost one to Gakio. I know I showed the other day that I beat him. I will show now that I lost one to him. The old George Ezra, man. Admittedly, from a resource point of view, it's probably quite close. But I feel like I got tanked in that fight. And before I even entered the fight, I was pretty much already crying because I knew I was going to be in trouble with what is left of my troops. So that was that. Like I say, there's been quite a few. We've been fighting for a little while. I'm trying to see if there was one down here. Yeah, we lost this one as well, but this was crazy. This guy's running full trolls. I mean, that is a willingness to win and an amount of troops that I do not have right now. So I got pretty much kicked in the teeth there. I managed to do what everyone's trying to do in Fortnite at the moment, which is kill Godzilla. Pretty alright, actually. Then I got 72 die. So it's been stupid busy, to be honest. And just trying to chip in really where I could there. Now, the last point of today, and I'll probably try and do a separate video on this at some point, but I just wanted to talk about workshops. And probably a more creative version of workshops than what I've done before. So we noticed that DK liked to path a lot, and I'm sure people who have played DK before understand that they move the map really, really, really well. And what happened the other day was my base was on the other side of the map. I think it was in Mirkwood, and they were cleaning Mirkwood. And they came to a level 2 tile of mine and hit it, and it basically turned into... it wasn't a level 2 tile, because it was actually one of these tiles that was connected once to a workshop. So to them it looked like a level 2 tile, but actually they have a level 25 defender on. So what we've kind of noticed is if we build a workshop and then give the player with the workshop the tiles around it, you can upgrade anything but a level 1 tile, so we wouldn't be able to do this one, but all these other tiles into a level 8 with a level 25 army. By doing that, it makes it very difficult for them to path with anything other than either a main or something that's got quite a lot of troops on. So it took away the option of the 1 troop pathing that they were doing, or sort of like the 100 troop pathing they were doing just to get siege from here. Quite interesting how well that's worked, and something that I'm going to try and develop, I think, in the next few days. But we have a lot of forts here. We will hopefully push this area back. But like I say, all these forts are pretty much finished now. So this is going to be a real pain to try and get through there. Really fun, entertaining server. I don't know if I can press one of these tiles. You'll probably see a lot of other reports. I very rarely go into other people's reports, but Legion's been there doing really well. Metal Heart's been doing really well. I've killed someone there, apparently. This was an interesting fight, I think, from memory. It's kind of 2 players right at the same sort of level of each other, and Grima involved. So there's been a lot of fighting for everyone in this server. Aaron's a pretty big whale. But yeah, there's been loads of fighting today again. This guy's a good player. So yeah, it's been busy, to say the least. But if you were looking at a server after 40 days and saying, right, what's going on? Some of them are dead, the game's dying, whatever you want to say, this suggests otherwise. And it's a great testament to the players to carry on playing in this way, but it's a great testament as well to the game that they've done these kind of changes that have made it so that this can happen. And on day 40, no one knows what's going to happen with the ring at this stage. I'll probably try and get on again towards the weekend. I may even try and get on live this weekend at some point. In the meantime, however, as always, if in doubt, always follow your nose.